In this episode, we're going to be answering the question, who is David Arquette? As a pro wrestler, because, he's a famous actor that most people know. Like in Scream, the movie, Eight-Legged Freaks and stuff. We'll dive into how he started his wrestling career at the very top, winning the WCW World Heavyweight title in his second match ever, to how he's developed since then and restarted his wrestling career in 2018. Let's get into it. David Arquette made his pro wrestling debut on April 12, 2000 in World Championship Wrestling as a way to promote the WCW-backed film Ready to Rumble. He jumped the gate to attack Eric Bischoff, who was the on-screen authority figure at the time. He was there to try to save Diamond Dallas Page from a 2-on-1 attack, and Chris Kanyon came out to help too. Which may seem random as well, but they both have connections to Ready to Rumble. DDP was the villain in the movie, and Chris Kanyon was one of the stunt doubles and trainers for the film. So I guess if you knew that as a fan, then it wouldn't feel random, but I assume most people watching didn't know that. So, another weird choice they made, but this is WCW in 2000. So because of that run-in, Eric Bischoff requested a match against Arquette to get back at him. And honestly, it's sort of a nothing match. I guess it's there to get Arquette some ring experience and advance the storyline. So then you start to see a reoccurring pattern here because there's all kinds of interference. DDP knocks out the ref. Jeff Jarrett knocks out DDP. Jeff Jarrett hits Bischoff with a guitar. Chris Kanyon then shows up and takes out Jarrett, letting Arquette win a match against Eric Bischoff. It's 2000's WCW booking. It's crazy. So, because Arquette won this match and there's all kinds of shenanigan interference, the following week they schedule a tag team match with David Arquette and the current champ, Diamond Dallas Page, against Jeff Jarrett and Eric Bischoff. Now, the key to this is they added a last-minute stipulation that whoever got the pin would win the belt no matter who it was. This obviously is bananas booking. It makes no sense. And also, another silly thing, which I guess doesn't matter that much, but David Arquette had been dragged and beaten up by Jeff Jarrett earlier in the night. So to sell that, Arquette walks out with a black eye and bruised face makeup, which I personally hate. I can't believe they put makeup on his face for the bruises and stuff. It looks so stupid.
Like that.
Oh, it's so dumb. So dumb. But if the real fighters don't get bruises in that
because he's a baby. He's a bruisey baby. He's not used to it,
Yeah.
Like everyone else is gonna get hit all the time, and he's got soft baby skin,
Yeah,
he's got actor skin.
Arquette hits his classic spear, goes for the pin. At the same time, Jeff Jarrett knocks out Page with the belt and pins him too. A new ref slides into the ring, completely ignoring Jeff Jarrett's pin because the storyline requires him to ignore that pin, and we have new heavyweight world champion David Arquette. DDP is surprisingly ecstatic to see Arquette take his belt. He laughs when he figures out that Arquette won the belt. I think with this weird acting choice to laugh at David Arquette winning the title, taking it away from him, it totally devalues the point of the belt and devalues DDP even having it in the first place. What'd you think of that match? What are your thoughts?
It was terrible. It was absolutely terrible. Eric Bischoff doesn't know what he's doing. He's not a believable performer. David Arquette is not a physical performer in any sense. Jeff Jarrett is very boring in this time frame. Just so boring. He's even said in interviews, like, I did not want them to give me the championship. I asked for them not to, because he's a charismatic guy. He could have been a great authority figure. He could have been a great manager. He could have been a lot of different things that would have gotten him over and gotten a wrestler over without making a spectacle or silliness. His outfits got better and better each match.
Yeah,
each time they got flashier and more fun and more Hollywood. He should have been a heel. Boy, I wish he was a heel.
Finally, we get to Slamboree. Triple threat match with David Arquette versus Diamond Dallas Page versus Jeff Jarrett in a triple cage match. It was supposed to act like a cage match on the first floor, a hardcore match on the second floor, and a ladder match to get the belt at the top of the structure. During the match, DDP and Jarrett do a very good job of keeping the terrified-looking David Arquette to the side. Arquette scurries to the top of the cage, waiting patiently until the other two men appear, so he can betray DDP and align with Jeff Jarrett, despite being harassed for the past 2 weeks by him. Jeff Jarrett is now your champ, and Arquette can get out of the business for the next 18 years. Sort of unfortunately, but also rightly so, David Arquette became the laughingstock of pro wrestling. Whenever he'd get into a conversation of wacky, crazy things that have happened in wrestling, someone would eventually say, "Can you believe David Arquette used to be world champ? What the hell were they thinking?" It's a shame because Arquette is a true wrestling fan and he reportedly hated the storyline, but went with it because they convinced him it would be good for business. Apparently, all of the money that David Arquette made during his WCW run was donated to wrestlers that have had tragic accidents like Owen Hart, Brian Pillman, Brian Hildebrand, Bobby Duncombe Jr., and Darren Drozdov. In 2018, David Arquette began wrestling again, this time on the indie circuit under proper training from Peter Avalon. He was sick of being seen as a fool and wanted to change the story. In these matches, he worked hard to gain the audience's respect. We looked over this match against RJ City. David Arquette is still green in this match, but there is a major improvement from what he did in WCW. This time, you can tell that he knows what to do, and maybe just hasn't had enough experience to pull it off correctly. But he's trying, and he's doing well. He's slowing down his moves, thank God, and he knows how to sell better now and how to provide real emotion in a ring. Notably, they pull this fun angle where they each pretend to have been hit by a chair to trick the ref into giving them a DQ win. They're trying to see who's the better actor here, which is fun for David Arquette, of all people to do.
That RJ City match, what a fun match. Especially when he does the double cheat, where RJ City falls down, gives him the chair. David Arquette falls down, gives the chair back. Then they have the tug of war with the chair, especially before they get up. You just see them looking at each other like, no, you hit me with the chair. No, I hit you. And that was so fun. I really think, especially in the RJ City match where he was wearing the short tights, Matt Hardy is his biggest fan because we all know about Matt Hardy. He loves weird little asses.
And I'm going to be here to kick Sammy's weird little ass.
And David Arquette and Sammy Guevara are the kings of weird little asses. You didn't notice that?
His weird little ass?
Weird little ass?
Well, now I have to stare at his ass because I did not notice his little ass. Yeah.
Check it out. Our fans and viewers, look at David Arquette's weird little ass and give us some feedback.
I'll do a close-up of his weird little ass in the video. Arquette got in the news during this time when he wrestled in a hardcore match against Nick Gage. He got a deep cut into his neck and almost died in the friggin' ring. It was a close call. I think what happened is that he flinched while Nick Gage was cutting his forehead and went to trip him a bit too early, catching Nick Gage off guard, and the glass slipped into his neck. Arquette freaks out, he immediately tries to leave, realizes that he needs to finish the match, so he goes back in. Gage seemed to understand what was happening, but he needed to do one big move on Arquette to give the match a believable ending, and Arquette probably didn't realize that and thought Gage was being a dick, maybe? So he freaked out. He for real tosses a chair at Gage and tries to tackle him, but Gage does this quick judo throw and pins him, ending the match.
So what's really cool, David Arquette, bless him, still wrestled after that. He still had several matches after that, which I just think is a testament to him that he was able to, suffer that big thing, a huge thing. And I remember him talking about afterwards, he's just like, I don't know, wrestling's a little scary to me now. But you could tell he's gotten so much better, especially in the Jungle Boy match. I think that was his best match, at least in this generation. Well, actually, it's always been his best match. What generation? His best matches are the 4 or 5 ones that are on video.
Arquette vs. Jungle Boy is super entertaining.
A lot of people ask me why I'm wrestling. Hey, it's not because I don't have any more money. I got friends' money, bitch.
Before the match, he cuts a heel promo about how crazy he is and proves it by drinking Coke and eating Pop Rocks. He plays a great, silly villain. He's almost got this Andy Kaufman vibe that's telling everyone, I'm from Hollywood and I'm better than you.
True, I only wrestle women, but I've wrestled women that are a lot bigger and stronger than you. See, Mr. Lawler, you don't have any brains. I'm from Hollywood. I have the brains.
And it's fun watching him lean into that role. Not only that, but it's a fun and competitive match, and it makes sense that Arquette would be able to physically match an outpowered Jungle Boy.
That Jungle Boy match, because David Arquette needs to fight people that are smaller than him, like Jungle Boy. And there's a good history there because he was friends with Luke Perry.
You're an incredible fighter, and you're going to great places. I loved your father dearly, and I love you.
So is David Arquette a good wrestler? Well, yes and no. Mostly no. But he's definitely getting better. He's learning every time he gets into the ring. To be honest, I've gained a lot of respect for David Arquette since researching him. He got thrown into this position in WCW without really knowing what was happening, being very new to the industry. He was used as the centerpiece, as a scapegoat, as if he chose to be the champion, which isn't fair to him. So coming back to wrestling from all this hate, he had very little to gain from it. He did it to prove to himself that he's better than how he's perceived. He put in the time, and he did it the right way, as a passion to find his own self-respect. It's tough as hell. He's tough as hell. He almost died from it, and I respect that determination a lot.